Hi, welcome along. I wanted to talk today a little bit about this very special Vincent that we've got here at the moment at L'Osso Veloce. This is a lovely machine. It's been owned by a friend of ours for many decades, and he's covered a lot of miles on it and had a lot of fun with it. And it's in fantastic mechanical shape, having just had a bottom end and top end rebuild, and so the bike's in real good fettle. Better still, it's fitted with a Grosse electric start and a couple of other little modifications which makes it a much more usable machine. Obviously a Vincent now is 65 odd years old, and things have changed and the roads have changed and bits and bobs like that, and obviously these things come along in time which we can use on bikes like this to make them better for everyday use. And so fitting electric start to a big old twin like this certainly makes it a much more usable machine. And you know, because kicking one of these over famously was a bit of a job. Once you get the technique, it's actually not too bad as long as you're fairly big like me and you can get some weight behind it. But of course, an electric start makes the job a whole load easier. And so I just wanted to kind of bring this outside in the rare sunshine that we've got today. Fire it up, show you how the electric start works, run through a few things, and then we're going to strap the camera on and go for a ride around the block, just because the sun's out and we can, and it's a nice thing to be able to share with you. Riding a Vincent is something I've been fortunate enough to do quite a few times, and there's something quite majestic about them, and it's a very special thing and quite a privilege to be able to ride one. And you know, it's a big part of motorcycling history, big part of British history. And nothing looks like a Vincent in the sun, really, does it? Okay, so first of all, just while the camera's off the back there, I'm going to fire it up. We've got a key down the side here, air correctors on this and not chokes, so slack cable is switching them on, but I've already had this running this morning, so it's slightly warm, so we should just be able to fire it up. There we go, immediately it comes straight into life. The Grosse electric start system is really strong. It whips it over, starts it much better than the kickstart ever did. Now, a Vincent, I don't know if you know how well you can hear it, a Vincent has a very distinctive sound. They growl, they kind of bark, not like a Ducati or any other twin. They've just got this bark on the exhaust note, which is really kind of prominent and majestic. Okay, I'll come and grab the camera and show you around the bike a little bit while it's parked here. Just kill the engine off so you can hear me talking. Okay, so this bike quite unusually is fitted with Vaux air cleaners, which are quite a rare part, quite special, and a lovely period thing that's quite hard to get hold of. Things that are kind of worthy of note on a Vincent, these caps here often you see get chewed up and battered. People have chiseled them and not used the correct spanner and stuff, and these are all lovely and crisp still. You know, the outer panels and things are in good shape. We've got Avon Road Rider on the back there and a Speedmaster on the front. Paint on the tank is new and nice, you know, decent quality finish on there. Stainless mud guards. You can see there's a big glass fibre matte battery on there, an Odyssey battery, which you need quite a significant amount of power to crank over the big motor, and so that works nicely. This is what they call an elephant trunk breather. It comes off the crankcase and allows the motor to breathe a lot. There was a criticism of Vincent's earlier on that they leaked oil because they struggled with crankcase pressure, and so a lot of people put this big breather over the top. It's known as the elephant trunk. Here, slipped in the gap, is a Ducelier alternator off a car to charge up the big battery and to keep the electric start working tip top. The previous owners fitted a car alternator. Now this can be taken away and you can put the original dynamo back on. It's all just put on brackets, and so there's no drilling or modification being done. It can be undone back to standard if you wanted to, but that's just there to power the sort of modern lights. This bike's actually fitted with indicators too, just for using in modern traffic, which is something that's quite nice. Obviously you can see the chrome on the rims is good. Like I say, good Avon Speedmaster on the front there. Lots of stainless steel on here as well in the fixtures and fittings, Altite horn, and all the sort of things you'd like to see on a Vincent. Underneath here, while I've got the camera out, there's the electric start system there, which fits underneath the gearbox and uses a modern motor and allows you to whip it over and crank the bike up into life. Another modification on the front here, although this has got a period Miller rim on, is actually a modern quartz halogen reflector and light in there to actually make it so you can see it at night. Again, it'd be easy to put back to standard if you wanted to, but it's just something that allows it to be used in modern traffic and be seen, be safe, and obviously if it's dark you can see where you're going to. Right, I'll go and get my gear on and we'll jump on the bike and go for a run around the block. Yep. Right, so we're back at the shop now. I've ridden the Vincent. I must say I'm really impressed. I've been lucky enough to ride quite a few Vincents, and this one behaves itself particularly well when you're on the road. Sometimes in the past I've had them where they've had a tendency to jump out of gear or to not change very well, but this was very, very slick, and in fact I didn't miss a single gear while we were out. So it was really nice to notice that. The clutch on these is quite strange. You've actually got two clutches. You've got a little sort of diaphragm clutch, which then in turn spins up a pair of like brake shoes almost that fly out and go into the inside of a drum, which is your main clutch. And that gives you a very, very light lever. In fact, you can manage it with one finger, which is really amazing for an old bike like this, and very, very clever, some of the things that they did. The bike pulls well through all the gears. It's very crisp. Everything feels tight. It's nice. There's no smoke. There's no oil. Really a drama-free experience for riding a bike from the early 50s. Which was really fantastic. You know, these were a magnificent beast in their day, and it's a real privilege to ride one now. You can't help but feel you should have your cravat on and be smoking a pipe as you go. And I don't care who you are, you do feel that tiny bit better than everybody else when you're sat on a Vincent. I don't know, whether it's the cost, whether it's the black and the gold, I don't know what it is, but you certainly get a special warm feeling inside, and you know, the noise that they make is quite intoxicating. That bark from the exhaust is it's like nothing else really. I ride a lot of Ducatis, a lot of Guzzis, things like that. None of them sound and feel like a Vincent does, and so it's always a privilege to get on one. And this particular bike is a real fantastic example.